Yo, all y'all, man, we got Think Before You Sleep. Throw these people in prison. Great videos. He will be linked in the description below. Let's get into this video.
You are now recognized for your testimony.
Thank you. Good
Is
morning,
this COVID?
Chairwoman Maloney and distinguished members of the committee. My name is Dr. Nisha Verma, and I use she, her pronouns.
If my doctor ever introduced herself by saying my pronouns are she, her, I'm finding a new doctor. I'm surprised you couldn't hear people laughing in the background. Maybe their mics were off.
I'm a fellow with Physicians for Reproductive Health, a network of physicians across the country working to improve access to comprehensive reproductive health care.
Sorry, I know that was boring, but basically she means she's an abortion activist. Physicians for Reproductive Health is an abortion advocacy group that media trains doctors to be public advocates for reproductive health care rights and other roundabout ways to confuse people
Abortion. Let's find the cure to cancer. Fucking hell.
by complicating simple ideas.
Yeah.
I'm here today to tell you that abortion is necessary, compassionate, essential health care.
Right, compassionate. Anyway, so why are we talking about this? Who is this person, Nisha Verma? Well, some of you might have recognized her from this viral clip that was taken at a congressional hearing.
Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of
So a yes or no would have been cool, but let's keep on watching.
patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is
Geez, just answer the question.
Like, okay, you're supposed to be a doctor. You can't just be like, okay, let's step back into reality and be like, okay, yeah, they can't. Thank you, doctor. I didn't even have to go to school to do that. Oh my gosh, or go to college. Fuck. Just went to college to be a dummy.
It's not that hard. God, I hate politicians. Sorry, she, her is not a politician. She's an activist, which is arguably worse.
I am a person of science, and I'm also
A
someone
person
here
of
who's
science? What
here
the
to
fuck does that
represent
mean?
the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal.
Bro, buzzword maxing to the maximum. Polarizing words. A person of science. Holy buzzword max.
don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women.
Right. As a person of science, she's trying to imply that talking about biological realities is extremist language, and the reasonable, non-polarizing opinion is that men can get pregnant. Holy crap, she, her is not
Holy
fit to practice
buzzword, Max.
medicine.
Oh,
But you know, over the past year, I found that my YouTube viewing habits go in phases. For example, I went through my Japan tourism phase, then I moved on to body cam footage, and now I'm locked into the congressional hearing meta. I
Well, okay, is this his channel or is this after? I don't know.
have to say that outside of Twitch streamers, I have never seen a bigger group of drama farmers than the people who do congressional hearings, and so far it's been great. Look at this one about government spending.
Do you think that we should be spending money on, quote, the racialized basis of trait judgments from faces?
I am not at all familiar with that grant.
It's a $500,000 NSF
God
grant.
damn.
Okay, I am not familiar with the subject
Let me hold $1. Fuck.
matter or the
But you're
particular grant.
defending these. Let's do another one. This one is called hashtag Transcendent Health, adapting an LGB plus inclusive teen pregnancy prevention program for transgender boys. I can't even say this without laughing. Do you think that is a useful form of our tax spend?
I am not familiar.
Yeah, anything but letting us afford a house. Yo. Yeah, let's actually focus on me getting a house. Like, if I'm not trying to be rude, but if people had houses and could afford shit, they probably really wouldn't give a fuck. But now this shit is like, free to interact with, and you don't really gotta do this, and people love drama, and this is just the easiest thing to go after. Come on, like, if everyone could afford a house and everything was good, people probably wouldn't really give a fuck. You're spending money on that? Oh, whatever. I have a house. People don't. The people that don't are like, what? Okay, so you're expecting to, like, give a fuck or want you to spend money on this when I can hardly spend money?
Here with that grant.
Let me be
Weird.
clear. These people who made up all these bullshit programs designed to steal tax dollars that Doge found out about should not merely be fired. They should be thrown in prison for a long time. Now, going back to
No
the
way.
viral congressional hearing, Nisha
Prison?
Verma, as much as people were clip farming her complete refusal to answer a question about basic biology, as a medical professional, actually as a gynecologist, she could not confirm that men can't get pregnant. But the important point here is that this wasn't just a random question
Okay, I was wrong. She's not a doctor.
they were asking. There's a reason why they asked it, and that reason goes back to what the hearing was about, which is a conversation about abortion medication.
So how do we get here? To the point where abortion pills can be ordered online, mailed, taken with no medical supervision, and we have no safeguards
the
against
money.
coercion.
I mean, that sounds pretty crazy and immoral. I didn't even know you could do that. But that was Bill Cassidy who was leading this dialogue that was largely about an abortion medication called mifepristone. For context, most abortions are induced by medication, and the issue they're bringing up here is legislation that was created by the Biden administration that allows abortion drugs to be prescribed to people without an in-person visit to the doctor. So this creates a number of issues. The first being that easy access to this drug is being used to circumvent the law in states where abortion is illegal.
After Dobbs, the Biden FDA promptly announced that it would remove the in-person dispensing requirement for abortion pills, thereby authorizing mifepristone to be shipped nationwide by mail. This is medically dangerous, unethical, and illegal in Louisiana and many states, as well as federal law. Data from pro-abortion advocacy groups indicate 900 illegal abortions occurred per month in Louisiana in 2025.
That's nearly 11,000 illegal abortions in a year just in Louisiana because of this workaround. Now, let me be clear on this because I'm sure people are going to ask what my position is. I assure you that I have such a middle-of-the-road opinion that it will probably make both sides mad, but whatever. First, I think that using abortion as a contraceptive, which is almost all abortion, is highly immoral and should be illegal.
Yeah, I mean, once I saw the study, I mean, I'm again Christian, so it's gonna be different. But once I see the study, it's like, okay, so no reason / because you slept with the wrong person. To me, it's like it's not justified. But there's cases like that, rape and incest, probably more justified. A lot more. It's weird shit, but. What abnormal? I don't know. What like physical? If it's gonna risk her life from dying, yeah, obviously, But it's just like the majority aren't that. So it's like, what are you arguing for?
And while this might piss off the Christians, I think they should cede ground to the pro-abortion activists on the less than 1% that are because of incest and rape, so that the activists can't use those small case examples to justify the 96% of abortions that are because someone didn't want to wear a condom or take the morning after pill. There are so many effective contraceptives that we should not be having like a million oopsies per year. That being said, you can probably guess that I'm not too happy about something like a doctor in California shipping abortion drugs to a client where abortion is illegal, followed by instructing them on how to effectively lie to the hospital in their state if there are complications from their use of mifepristone. Not only that, Liz Muriel, Louisiana's Attorney General, was saying that in many cases you don't even have to talk to a doctor. You just fill a form out online. So that's the Republican side of the story, and now that we've gone over that, let's go to Bernie Sanders and his witness to hear the opposing opinions.
I'd like to introduce Dr. Nisha Verma, who is an obstetrician and gynecologist and a fellow with Physicians for Reproductive Health.
Good morning, Chair Cassidy, Ranking Member Sanders, and distinguished members of the Senate Help Committee. My name is Dr. Nisha Verma, and I am a double board-certified, fellowship-trained obstetrician and gynecologist and fellow with Physicians for Reproductive Health.
I like how we had to hear the exact same information back-to-back over the course of a minute. Very efficient. But again, Physicians for Reproductive Health is a pro-abortion activist organization. Nisha Verma is a trained propagandist, so naturally she's going to spend her allotted time completely ignoring the reason for this hearing so she can talk about whatever point she wants to bring up.
Miscarriages occur in 10 to 26% of all pregnancies, and I often care for women and families experiencing the loss of a highly desired pregnancy who wish to treat their miscarriage with medication. For these patients, mifepristone, along with misoprostol, speeds up the process, reduces pain, and decreases the need for additional treatments.
No one was talking about that. Who is even advocating against doctors using effective treatments in the case of a miscarriage or like an ectopic pregnancy? Nobody wants that to be illegal, and while I have seen...
Yeah, you're just like yapping at
stuff from
point.
people like Illymation, where she will fearmonger and lie to 4 million people about abortion laws. I have yet to see any of these people point out a state where these specific treatments are illegal. Certainly they don't do that during this meeting.
My staff was able to confirm that in North Carolina, the health of the mother is an exception in which abortion would be allowed. So just to say that.
as it
Secondly,
should be.
Dr. Verma suggested that in Louisiana, if somebody's having a miscarriage, that they do not have access to these drugs. That's incorrect. Specifically, it says that if somebody is having a miscarriage, there is access to the legitimate use of these drugs in compliance with the law. So that's incorrect.
That being said, let's talk about something from this hearing that really concerned me. Actually, two things that I think even if you are in favor of abortion, these will disturb you. The first being concerns over safety protocol for a prescription medication that, in my opinion, as well as the opinion of many others, has an intended side effect that is lethal. I think maybe you should have to do a little bit more than fill out a form online to get this drug.
These abortion drugs, category A drugs are safe, B are probably safe.
Who's making them? Because who's making it, who's funding it, and who's selling you the result of what happens? Or sorry, did that make any sense? The last one probably didn't. But like, yeah, who's funding it? Who's making it? And what's gonna be the result of taking it? And who's gonna give me the key to that? The same company? Wouldn't be the first.
C, what type of category drug are these prostaglandin drugs that you prescribe?
In Louisiana, now they have been made controlled substances.
But you would agree with me that these prostaglandin drugs are category X drugs? The answer is yes. They are category X drugs.
Where he's going with this is that these drugs cause birth defects. Now, why would that be important in reference to telehealth phone calls? To clarify this next part, the person asking questions is Senator Roger Marshall, who's an OBGYN doctor, which means he focuses on stuff like delivering babies, so he's knowledgeable in this field.
A woman comes in for her first visit, and she tells you when her last menstrual cycle was. It's pretty common for them to be off. In fact, it's very common to be off about a month. Would not be unusual. Would you agree with that?
Yes, Dr. Marshall, and actually I would add to that I recently had a woman come in because she was having some bleeding and abdominal pain, and she was 23 weeks and didn't know it.
Let's take a pause for a second. If you want this abortion drug, you can make a phone call or fill out paperwork with no real medical supervision and just take it. Part one of the issue here is that if you think you're 8 weeks pregnant but are actually 14 to 20 weeks pregnant, your risk of severe side effects such as hemorrhaging go up significantly.
Once you get into the second trimester, the risk of hemorrhage increases dramatically.
These doctors, such as Nisha Verma, know that these risks are here because they're counseling people in states where abortion is illegal on how to effectively lie to medical staff in the case that they have an adverse reaction. The only way to be super accurate about how long a woman has been pregnant during early pregnancy is to go into the doctor's office and get an ultrasound.
Doctor, I'm going to come back to you. Do you think an ultrasound, seeing the patient in person, is beneficial and safe, and not doing so is below the standard of care?
I would agree with that, and I'd also add that ACOG in its committee opinion says that any pregnancy that is not dated by ultrasound is suboptimally dated.
Got it. So let's go further into why it's important that you have an accurate
Which would make sense unless you're tracking the last day you got nutted in.
date of conception when it comes to taking a drug like mifepristone.
I think you'd also agree with me, doctor, that the failure rate of these abortion drugs is probably around 5% at less than 10 weeks. But the failure rate of giving it to a 14-week person over the phone, the failure rate is probably 10%. Failure rate meaning it doesn't work. That same patient calls me from home or just goes to the pharmacy and picks this drug up. They think they're 10 weeks, but they're actually 14 weeks. There's a 10% chance of this drug not working. And the risk factors associated with this X-rated drug, 5% of the babies that go on to deliver that took this drug, 5% of them have a major fetal malformation, limb deformities. So it's like they're missing fingers, they're missing digits, cranial nerve palsies. Think of like Bell's palsy, you can't open your eyelids, you can't smile, cranial nerve palsies, cranial facial defects, and of course premature births.
So basically, not only are you at a higher risk of adverse effects if you take the drug too late, but also the baby is more likely to survive. And if they do survive, there is a huge chance of birth defects. And you know what simple action would prevent this? Requiring that patients go in and talk to a doctor if they want to receive this drug. Because you know people like Nisha Verma aren't taking an ethical stance on this. The reason they are arguing...
And a lot of times, a lot of people don't tell you what the bad is in this product because it won't sell. And that's just facts. And with a thing like this is like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm gonna put on tinfoil hat here. I gotta get one just to like put on every time I start saying shit. Tinfoil hat here. A lot of these people are paid by, somebody, and somehow they just start saying shit, huh? They just start saying shit like a company, right? And, somehow just funds her, and she goes along with everything they say. See, with me, it's like, not to say I don't trust her, because I don't know her fully, but like, again, it's not looking too good for her. Not looking too good at all.
Against in-person visits to get this drug is because, in my opinion, they're political radicals who want to make it easy to subvert the law in states where people have voted for abortion to be illegal. How do I know their goal is to subvert the law? Well, it's because they openly say it during this meeting.
Women who don't have access to a specialist can access.
Yeah, oh my God. Are we seeing what I'm seeing here? Fucking hell.
Safe abortion by getting mifepristone and follow-up care through telehealth. Dr. Verma, how has telehealth changed access to safe reproductive care in rural areas?
Thank you. It has made it more accessible. And again, like I emphasized earlier, there is a process for telehealth. There are regulations, there are strict screenings that happen. And what is really the issue here is when people need additional care, they can't get it in their communities without fear of being criminalized.
Understand that she was using political euphemisms here to hide what she was actually saying, so let me translate. She said, yes, we are using telehealth to send drugs to people illegally, and those people aren't going through proper safety checks before getting access to a prescription drug because, if you get an ultrasound in a place where abortion is illegal and you don't have that baby, the doctor's going to wonder where the baby went. She absolutely just openly admitted to not only facilitating a crime, but in my opinion, when she helps those people obtain these drugs illegally, she's also engaging in malpractice because she's not doing her due diligence as a doctor and making sure that this drug is taken as safely as possible by her patients. Like, she should be arrested for this. We need to start throwing these activist doctors in jail for breaking the law. And it's not just that, but the amount of insane shit that Nisha Verma says under the guise of polite speech cannot be understated.
Who do you think is best prepared to determine whether mifepristone is safe and effective? Do you think it is members of the state legislature? Do you think it is United States senators? Or do you think it should be organizations like the American Medical Association and doctors and scientists who for decades have studied the issue?
As a doctor, I know that people are capable of making these decisions for themselves.
She's a doctor. I'm so dumb. Like,
They are the experts on their own lives and can make these decisions guided by evidence, science, and what's happening in their own lives.
This lady is trying to get all the malpractice achievements. Common people don't have the education to read research on whether or not mifepristone is a safe drug. That's why we have doctors. I mean, I had to double take when I heard Bernie Sanders ask his witness if people should trust their doctors, and she basically said, yeah, I think people should Google whether or not this is a safe drug.
Trust your doctors,
what the
guys.
fuck?
I told you to get COVID
Note that
shots.
she didn't say they should consult their doctors. She said that they can make their own decisions as a person who is advocating for access to a prescription drug
Trust me, bro.
with minimal or no medical supervision. Anyway, Nisha Verma goes on to say, but
she is literally a trust me, bro source. Like, yeah, trust me, guys. This is good for you. Trust me. Okay.
when I do telehealth calls, I tell my patients to get an ultrasound. Yeah, but you're going to give them the drug anyway, and so are other doctors, so why would they get the ultrasound? With that said, let's go to the final part of the dangers of prescribing this drug remotely.
According to a criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court in the Southern District of Texas, Christopher Cooper-Ryder murdered his next-door neighbor's unborn child, who he fathered in 2025. Cooper-Ryder obtained mifepristone via online pharmacy and gave her these drugs without her knowledge by lacing it in her hot chocolate. It seems to me that just requiring an in-person visit before dispensing the...
Yeah, I could see how that 100% could be twisted like a poison. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a dude doesn't want it and he poisons her, like a wife or whoever he slept with, I don't know. So I can see that.
drug would stop this.
Right, that seems reasonable. The The problem is that you don't have to be a woman to get access to this drug, and because it's so easy to access, it allows, among other stuff, abusive partners to basically roofie their significant other. But allow me to shed more light on this case from Texas where abortion is illegal. This guy is alleged to have drugged his girlfriend with at least 10 abortion pills, which is way more than the recommended dose. Here's the part that I want to focus on, though. The pills were purchased at a company called Aid Access, where on the website it says, get abortion care wherever you are, which I guess includes men too. And just in case you find this to be a little bit unclear, the page goes on to say that they ship to all 50 states. But that's not all. The website also goes on to give very specific instructions on how to take the pills. And then if you scroll down more, it gives you information on how to identify severe...
So who is funding this company? Just curious. No, I'm just asking questions. Promise you. What is this company called? Aid Access. Trust me, bro. I'm just asking questions.
on how to take the pills. And then if you scroll down more, it gives you information on how to identify a severe reaction, followed by instructing you to lie to hospital staff, which of course is definitely a smart thing to do when you're having an adverse reaction to a drug. I mean, this sounds like a massive lawsuit waiting to happen, and hopefully criminal charges are brought against this organization and any organization like it. Wait, hold on a second. It says here that the pills can't be detected, so if that guy who drugged his girlfriend with an extreme dose of abortion pills didn't send her incriminating texts, they wouldn't be able to tell he drugged her? These companies don't see a problem with this? Oh, look, Aid
Yeah, that's nuts to me.
Access is actually a foreign company designed to violate American laws, so this might be an act of war. Then there are also shield laws that protect doctors when they give abortion care to those who live in states where it's illegal. So basically when they say that abortion access has been taken away, they're just lying to you. Which brings us to why the question, can men get pregnant, was asked.
Ms. Verma, can men get pregnant?
Dr. Verma.
Yes.
Right, Dr. Verma.
Dr. Verma, can men get pregnant? As a doctor, give me your opinion. As a doctor, can men get pregnant?
People are laughing in the background because she had said stuff like this multiple times during the hearing.
Science and evidence need to guide medicine, not politics.
All right, so because Dr. Verma obviously did not answer the question, the lady asked the other doctor from the Republican side and the Attorney General.
I'll move on to the next one. Doctor, can men get pregnant?
No.
I know you're a lawyer, an AG, like I was an AG. Can men get pregnant?
No.
Is there any reason
Do some more research.
why men should get their hands on the abortion drug?
None.
And are they getting their hands on an abortion drugs?
They are.
So they were asking if men could
Whoa,
get pregnant
you're
because there have been a number of cases where men get access to mifepristone.
Sorry, I did not mean to do that twice. That's rude. I think I need it.
And then try to secretly drug their partners. You know what would stop this? An in-person visit to a doctor.
Is it easy for men to get abortion drugs across state lines?
Extraordinarily.
In fact, I had staff members who said, my name is Michael, how do I get abortion drugs? Would it surprise you to know that there are all kinds of organizations ready to satisfy that whim of a man to get abortion drugs?
Sadly, it does not surprise me.
Moving on, I gotta say that it's not like the Republicans have a perfect track record in every hearing, because a lot of them certainly do some of the same stuff. But in this particular case, they had an excellent record of staying on top.
Just politics, guy. Regardless of the fact, left or right, just politics, y'all. They all use the same yap talk. They all do it. They all try to get their gotcha moments, not their... so let's actually have a conversation here, not gotcha moments that we can put on TikTok. But when some people are like, well, actually, I don't think I have the probable cause or right of talking about this. The rightness of my words shall not be used infringed of this word, and I shall not just talk about it. Shut the fuck up and answer the question. That's why we gotta start getting regular people in the office, bro. Regardless of the fact, left or right, we just gotta get comments as people that could actually agree on baseline things. Like, if you're at war on everything, this is gonna suck. Seriously. Like, if you can have, regardless of the facts, right now, obviously, Republicans in the party, or in the White House, if you can have them agree on base level things as people in the states of blue, a lot of shit would be going better, and vice versa. A lot of shit would just be going right. Like, I think politicians or whatever these people are got to just start agreeing on common sense things. And once that comes back, I think a lot of things will be changed and will be for the better. Because, like, okay, like, let's get off our high horse. Let's get off our fucking political stupid agenda. Let's get off the feelings and emotions arguments. Let's get the facts. Can men get pregnant? No. And like that's what regards to the fact of that just ruins like your credibility. Like, okay, you're seriously gonna do this? Come on. I feel like to me that's like a conversation ender. Like, if you have a conversation with me, you can't deny. If you can't not say, yeah, no, they can't. It's just facts. Yeah, you're just stupid. Sorry. Like, let's get to a point where like common sense is common sense.
Topic. While Democrats literally did everything in their power to gaslight and not address the actual issues. In fact, I counted maybe 7 times where they went completely off topic to virtue signal and play whataboutism games.
And I just have to say, I'm really tired of Republicans pretending they care about protecting women when all they mean is taking away women's ability to make decisions about their own bodies. If they really cared about protecting women, they'd care about the fact that this administration has elevated people who shield alleged sex traffickers like Andrew Tate.
What the hell does Andrew Tate have to do with doctors prescribing abortion drugs over the...
Holy... Like, yo, did you just do a U-turn? Bro, what the hell? Stay in your lane, guy. Golly. I think if you're having a conversation, this is gonna be a hot take. I think if you make this a thing, I think if you're having a conversation, especially like that in your political thing, I think you should be fined, regardless of the size. You should be fined every time you go off topic and start bullshitting. New rule. Tell me if you like it. Don't give a fuck what it is. I think if you start yibbity yapping and talking about other shit, I think you should be fined. Every time you go, every minute you go off, or every 30 seconds you go off topic, or every time you go off topic, fine. I don't know how much, a couple thousand? Bet him, it'll start making them talk about the real shit. Yeah, well, so the thing about this cause is actually, I did great things yesterday. I actually helped and gave someone, well, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here for this cause. Now tell me X, Y, and B. Well, the thing about that is I actually woke up yesterday and my ankle hurt because of the fact of the matter I was doing so much for other people yesterday. And I'm a great person. Well, that's not what I asked. Fine. Fine them.
Phone. I mean, this shouldn't be allowed. You should be held in contempt or reprimanded for wasting people's time like this and distracting from the issue that the hearing's about. Every time this woman spoke, she had to fling shit at people instead of actually discussing the topic. Then we have...
Fine them for going off a topic. Golly, like shit. Like, what the hell?
Dr. Verma here talking about how illegals should get free health care.
My patients are at risk because of restrictions on abortion care and cuts to Medicaid. They are at risk because of decreased funding to clinics that provide preventive care and cancer screenings, and fears about whether they can safely go to the hospital based on their immigration status.
Right, we want to make sure that we give free health.
Go back.
Safely go to the hospital based on their immigration status.
Right, we want to make sure that we give free health care to illegals so they can have their anchor babies here. Don't worry, Dr. Verma. I don't think that particular group is concerned about abortion, at least with the first child. Now, outside of that,
fair.
In a world where everyone's blackpilled and thinks nothing will ever get done, actually a lot has...
Like, I think there should be free. But, I mean, again, sorry to say, yeah, there probably should be, you know, how we are. But if you look at the examples of what it is, the VA hospital is dog shit. You, majority veterans, you go and see, like, I don't know the stats, but some of them even take their life in the parking lot. That's how bad it is. So I'm not saying, like, it's going to be great, but, like, I don't think people are going to... What they're expecting it to be is going to be underwhelming. Free healthcare. It is. And I'm not going to fight against it, because I think it should be, especially, you know, how big the country is and shit. How much money we can lend out. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I think people are going to be underwhelmed on what it's actually going to be like. Right? Like, just imagine what it's going to be like, alright?
Gotten done in the past year. But for people who think things are hopeless, note that an important strategy has been highlighted here. These politicians and doctors can go back and forth on their opinions on mifepristone, but what actually worked was embarrassing the shit out of that activist doctor. She will now be known as the gynecologist who thinks that men can get pregnant, and this ruined her credibility, which will, in effect, prevent new people from adopting her ideology. This isn't the only time that I've seen this tactic of farming a relevant, stupid belief that your opponent can't speak out against. Andrew Wilson used it against a Muslim that he was debating.
Your entire argument is
Sorry.
on the basis of IQ. You haven't said, you just say, oh, marrying your cousin, effing
I'm sorry. But yeah, I think people nowadays, especially now, are getting sick and tired of these stupid games we're playing. Like, no, I'm not playing your dumb game of if men can get pregnant. I'm not playing that shit. Right? You had some people, hey, let's argue about it. Yeah, I don't think people are doing that anymore. Why? Because that's not the meat and potatoes. We want to get to the meat and potatoes. We don't give a fuck about that. That's not real issues, gang. I'm just being real. Let's be real. That's not real issues we give a fuck about.
of IQ. You haven't said, you just say, oh, marrying your cousin, effing your cousin, that is degenerate. On the basis of what?
Weird, dude.
It's not on the basis of your Bible. It's just a degree. Yeah, laugh it up, laugh it up.
I have to say that when I watched the debate, the Muslim guy came off way more intelligent and way better prepared than Andrew Wilson during his opening statement.
Yeah, but like, come on. I mean, say what you want to say, but dude, again, if you're fighting from you want an example, okay, but dude, okay. Hopefully that's not a hill he wants to die on, because
On whether Islam or Christianity
just commit suicide
is better for society. Yet all his preparation got completely derailed by Andrew simply stating that marrying your cousin is wrong. This was at the start of the debate, and it ruined the entire 2 hours for him. Now he's the guy who thinks that cousin marriage is okay. Which is why when dealing with these types of situations, especially when it comes to activists who are trying to destroy the West, I would encourage people to not fight fire with fire, and instead think outside of the box a little bit. There might be a more intelligent solution to your issues. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter.
That's why common sense needs to be just relevant.
And I'll see you in the next video.
Great video, man. Short answer, no. Long answer, no. What the fuck are you? What the fuck are you on? I'm getting a new doctor. Facts. Dr. K answer question, what is a woman? Time to ask, what is a doctor? Exactly. When if idiots said the trust, yeah, but I was like, for what I'm getting every day, I'm just not trusting anything. But the big God, man. Bro, these doctors, I mean, these comments are funny as shit. Just woke up, but now I think I'm about to go to sleep. I must go. I'm about to go to sleep, but now I must think before I sleep. Facts. Ever notice how the science use the yes or no, or the and now they just use a ton of vulgar words in order to, yeah, it's like, I get it. Like, okay, if you can't answer direct, don't answer direct, fuck's sake. Facts. I can't believe this had, like, there shouldn't be a video on on what is a woman. I know. Alright. XY chromosomes, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me, doctor. Dude, that shit was funny. Shit was funny. If a doctor can't say whether or not a man can get pregnant, her license should be canceled. Facts. You guys gotta let me know what you think about this. I think this was a great video. He makes great videos. He's funny as shit. Sub up to him. Let me know what you think. I think this is probably the most retarded shit you could argue about nowadays. Like, okay, like, I think people are truly done with this stupid ass. Yeah, I think, no, I don't think I give a fuck what you think anymore. Not in a rude way, but it's like, man, whatever you're saying isn't really what I give a fuck about. Why can't I buy a house? Oh, forgot. Yeah. Oh, why can't I buy a house? What? No. I think we need more trans kids. No. So, what do you mean the prices of everything is going up? Well, I think we just need to be having more abortion. What? Well, what do you mean AI is taking over? Well, no, I think we should be understanding that trans kids in Africa need funding. No, I think we're done with this shit. I think maybe people were rich and afforded shit, had shit going on, had a house, had groceries, had good, nice groceries, go in the store with $100 and get a month worth of groceries. I think if people got back to that, then they would start being like, yeah, okay, whatever, say what you want to say. But people are tired of that shit. I think we need to make common sense more common again. Fuck.